Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on this Friday, the 21st day of March 2025. You're just in time for the day's news. On today's Conundrum segment, we take a look at President William Ruto's recent cabinet reshuffle, marking yet another round of changes within his administration. Is this a case of dancing chairs, or is it a strategic move to improve the country's governance? Stay tuned for that towards the end of this news bulletin. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Fiona Weresa. Let's begin with the day's news. Now, as the country prepares for the 2027 general elections, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has begun a reconstitution. A team of 11 candidates, each with distinct backgrounds, is vying for the position of IEBC chairperson, a role left vacant after the passing of the late Wafula Chebukati. The selection panel, led by Dr. Nelson Makanda, will conduct interviews from March 24th to April 24th to appoint the new chairperson. Among the candidates is Anne Amadi, the former Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, known for her significant role in judicial administration reforms. Despite being involved in a controversial fake gold scandal, Amadi remains a contender for the position. Another candidate is Francis Kakai Kissinger, a human rights activist with a background in international law. He has previously served as Deputy Chief Registrar of the Judiciary and was involved in corruption investigations within the judiciary. The interviews for the IEBC chairperson position will continue until April 24th, with these candidates among the many expected to participate. President William Ruto met Mount Kenya leaders at State House, Nairobi, ahead of his planned tour of the region next week. This visit will mark his first development tour of the area since the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua in October last year that sparked tension across the region. Our reporter Dolly Murigi now reports.
After being accused of not visiting the Mount Kenya region since former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was removed from office, President William Ruto is finally planning a visit to the area. The planned visit is seen as a response to Gachagua's impeachment. Ruto has already met with some leaders from the Mount Kenya region at State House in Nairobi to prepare for his trip. He has also confirmed that his government is dedicated to speeding up development programs in Mount Kenya counties through discussions with elected officials. The meeting, which brought together MPs from Mount Kenya region, focused on scaling up agricultural productivity and advancing infrastructure and housing projects in the region. The Mount Kenya area, which includes counties like Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, and Meru, serves as a significant political and economic center in Kenya. This region depends largely on agriculture, especially tea, coffee, and dairy farming, which are crucial sources of foreign exchange for the region. Already, President William Ruto allies in the region have confirmed his upcoming visit and have begun mobilizing their supporters to welcome him. They are urging residents not to heckle the president as he presents initiatives that will positively benefit the region. Dolly Murigi for Hope TV.
County governors have threatened to halt county services if diverted funds are not reinstated within 14 days. Speaking after holding an extraordinary meeting in Nairobi, the governors, through Council of Governors, demanded the immediate release of 78.03 billion shillings in delayed county equitable share funds and the restoration of 38.4 billion shillings that was diverted from county allocations. They warned that services will be shut down if these funds are not released. The governors have also condemned the diversion of development partners' conditional grants through the county government's Additional Allocation Bill 2025.
Condemnation of the arbitrary diversion of development partners conditional grants due to county governments in the consideration and passage of the county government's Additional Allocation Bill 2025. This blatant act is yet another attempt to systematically cripple service delivery across the 47 county governments, an affront to the devolution agenda as enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. From this deduction, county governments will lose a whooping Kenya shillings 38.4 billion of the additional allocations, of which Kenya shillings 24 billion are conditional grants from donors to support critical county projects in healthcare, agriculture, fisheries, water, roads, slum upgrading and infrastructure development. The other Kenya shillings 13 billion additional allocations from the national government are to fund jointly agreed ongoing projects such as industrial parks. This latest move is not an isolated incident, but rather a continuation of deliberate and unjustified reduction of equitable share of revenue under the pretext of revenue shortfalls.
Now, police have launched an investigation into the death of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, that is KBC journalist Frederick Pasayo, who was found dead at his home in Kinoo, Kikuyu, Friday morning. KBC management confirmed the matter has been reported to Kinoo Police Station and authorities are working to determine the circumstances surrounding his death. In a statement, KBC extended its condolences to Pasayo's family, friends and all those affected by the loss. His body has been taken to St. Teresa Mortuary, where a post-mortem will be conducted as part of the ongoing investigation, with unconfirmed reports alleging the young journalist committed suicide due to depression. An Employment and Labor Relations Court in Eldoret has issued orders directing striking nurses at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital to resume work. The orders were issued on Friday by Lady Justice Maureen Onyango following a case filed by the hospital against the Kenya National Union of Nurses. Over 800 nurses at the hospital have been on strike since Wednesday this week, demanding for, among others, implementation of a 2017 collective bargaining agreement and insufficient medical supplies believed to be a result of a budget cut by the Treasury. The nurses have been on strike for the third day on Friday, paralyzing health operations.
Naomba kwamba serikali ipate kurejesha hiyo bajeti ya shilingi bilioni 2.3.
Napata ya kwamba saa zingine supplies inakuwa less, sasa huwezi pea mgonjwa huduma yenye inatakana apate. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wananchi waweze kutuvumilia kwa sasa na wajua kwamba tunawatetea. Hatuhitaji hata pesa. Tunahitaji pesa ikuje iweze kununua supplies, iweze kulipa watu wenye wanaleta vitu katika hospitali.
CS wa health alikuwa anajoi mambo tangu yanze mpaka saa hii na hakuna suluhisho wamepeana pale kama advice kwa rais wetu ndio mambo itatuliwe. So mimi naona hii sekta ya afya ni kama inafelishwa na ni kama mtu anatakana achukue responsibility ambaye ni CS wa hii ministry. Kwa nini Kenya mzima Ministry of Health iko na taabu kubwa sana?
And on that note, let's take our first break on Newswatch tonight. We have more coming up after the break.
One of the leading causes of divorce today is finance. Man's struggle for achievement springs from envy of another person. Why should I make money? What is the purpose of money? You can sleep soundly when you have no possessions because you don't fear things coming to steal. They'll be embarrassed. Scarcity mindset attracts poverty, but abundance mindset attracts wealth. It's good to understand properly and place wealth in the right perspective.
One thing I've learned about leadership, just generally in leadership, the leader is not the smartest person in the room. All right? He's not always the smartest person. When you're a leader, your strength is in the ability to be able to harness the gifts around you. It's the same thing in the family.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, your wife is a very smart person.
Yeah.
So you don't shut her down.
No.
All right. But you allow her to. You pick those ideas. You discuss them, and one of you, you make them your own.
Definitely.
It's like even in any organization, as the CEO, for example, you're not necessarily the smartest person in that organization.
No.
But you get around yourself people who are smart, people who are good in what they do, and then you take all those ideas and then you lead. And guess who takes credit at the end of the day? You take the credit at the end of the day. Because you're the leader.
You're the leader.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know. So that's what leadership is all about. So being able to also just harness all those gifts that God has given you through your wife and one of you, but being able to chart the way forward.
Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
Join Joy Auchi, Karen Kilonzo, and Elijah Muli this Sunday for a moment of worship on Ultimate Worship.
I want you more than gold or silver.
From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
I am trusting.
Hope TV, look and live.
Welcome back. The Ombudsman has issued a 60-day deadline to the State Department of Land and Physical Planning to resolve land complaints. Ombudsman Chairperson Charles Dulo says they have received a total of 392 complaints against the State Department of Land and Physical Planning. Out of these, only 186 cases have been resolved, leaving 206 complaints still pending. The key issue raised is delayed services, which make up 38% of all complaints. Other issues, according to the Ombudsman, which is the Commission on Administrative Justice, includes inefficiency, unresponsive officials, limited access to information, and corruption. Some of these complaints have remained unresolved for years, causing frustration among citizens seeking land services. To address these concerns, the Commission has issued a set of recommendations aimed at ensuring swift resolution of complaints and improving service delivery.
Lands accounted for the second highest number of complaints, representing 6.88% of all complaints received. Since 2019, the Commission has received a total of 392 complaints against the State Department for Lands Physical Planning. Many citizens have reported long waiting times for essential services such as the issuance of title deeds, conclusion of land transfers, amongst others. While 263 cases were addressed within the 3 years, 119 dragged for more than between 4 to 15 years, 8 cases took more than 25 years, and 2 cases remained unresolved after 25 years. The Commission also has received complaints from the Law Society of Kenya, which collated complaints from a number of stakeholders, including lawyers and law firms, raising similar issues against land registry. These issues were raised by the Land and Climate Justice Committee of the Commission has therefore given the Principal Secretary, State Department of Land and Physical Planning, 60 days to review all the 206 pending complaints and provide a detailed response, clearly indicating the department's position, steps taken, or intended action to ensure prompt resolution. The Commission has recommended the following urgent measures. 1, the Principal Secretary to process and resolve the pending complaints within 60 days from the date hereof and provide compliance report to the Commission. Address the systemic factors affecting delays in service delivery, including poor record management, bureaucracy, corruption, cartel, staff shortages, inadequate equipment, and
The Office of the Data Protection Commission, ODPC, pitched tent in Runyenje's constituency, Embu County, in a series of meetings around the country to enlighten members of the public on the need to safeguard their personal data against misuse by fraudsters and cyberbullies. The forum brought to the fore the importance of applying proper safeguards, including encryptions, access control, loggings, to minimize cases of data or identity theft by fraudsters. Residents were also enlightened on how to report cases of personal data misuse and available legal recourse to safeguard their rights and interests.
So wakati nilikuja kugundua ya kwamba ni watu wanataka kuniiba, hao walikuwa wanadanganya, nilikuwa nimezunguka sana, nikasumbuka sana juu nilikuwa nimeona nimepata pesa. Lakini baadaye nikakuja kuambiwa hao watu ni wezi, wanataka kuniiba. So hata leo nimesoma zaidi, nikaona ni vizuri kutunza kama ni information yako unaangalia.
Upeane, ujue ni kina nani unaongea na wao na ni information na gani wanahitaji kutoka kwako. Juwezi kuwa kwa sherehe, for example, nusikie mtu anakuitisha kitambulisho, namba ya ID, ama for example, hii fertilizer tunapeangwa. Ukuta unapewa fertilizer alafu unaulizwa uko na watoto wangapi.
Tungependa tu kuwatahadharisha watu wasiwe wana mazoea ya kupeana information yao kwa kila mtu. Wawe makini sana wakati watu wanakuja hasa hapa mashinani. Waweze kwanza kuangalia hao watu, wafanye identification. Mtu yeyote ambaye anakuja kuchukua information yako ni lazima umwambie aweze kujitambulisha yeye ni nani.
Across our borders, Sudan's military announced it has retaken the Republican Palace in Khartoum, the last stronghold of rival paramilitary forces, after nearly 2 years of intense fighting. A Sudanese officer confirmed that the military had secured the compound, with images showing the palace partially in ruins. The announcement was made by Sudan's Information Minister Khalid Al-Issa, who posted on X stating, "Today the flag is raised, the palace is back, and the journey continues until victory is complete." The capture of the Republican Palace marks a significant victory for Sudan's military, which has made steady advances in recent months under Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. This move effectively expels the rival Rapid Support Forces led by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo from the capital, Khartoum, following the outbreak of war in April 2023. And Namibia has today welcomed her first female president, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, who has been sworn in as the 5th president in a colorful ceremony attended by various presidents and heads of state, including President William Ruto at State House Windhoek. Netumbo takes office as Namibia is facing high unemployment, inequality, and poverty. At the age of 72, Nandi-Ndaitwah becomes Africa's second ever directly elected female president after Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia and 5th president of Namibia. She won the November 2024 election with 58% of the vote and has been a long-time loyalist of the Southwest Africa People Organization known as SWAPO, a party she joined at the age of 14 during its fight against apartheid in South Africa. While SWAPO has made progress in improving the lives of Namibia's black majority since the country's independence in 1990, the lasting effects of apartheid are still visible, with significant disparities in wealth and land ownership across the nation. President Ruto said Kenya looks forward to working closely with President Nandi-Ndaitwah and the government of Namibia to further deepen their strong bilateral ties for the mutual benefit of the two nations and people. Hupata break peke yake.
Join Joy Auchi, Karen Kilonzo, and Elijah Muli this Sunday for a moment of worship on Ultimate Worship.
I want you more than gold or silver.
From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
I am trusting.
Hope TV, look and live.
One of the leading causes of divorce today is finance. Man's struggle for achievement springs from envy of another person. Why should I make money? What is the purpose of money? You can sleep soundly when you have no possessions because you don't fear things coming to steal. They'll be embarrassed. Scarcity mindset attracts poverty, but abundance mindset attracts wealth. It's good to understand properly and place wealth in the right perspective.
One thing I've learned about leadership, just generally leadership, the leader is not the smartest person in the room. All right? He's not always the smartest person. When you're a leader, your strength is in the ability to be able to harness the gifts around you. It's the same thing in the family. All right? Like I said, your wife is a very smart person. So you don't shut her down. All right? But you allow her to, you pick those ideas, you discuss them, and one of you, you make them your own.
Definitely.
It's like even in any organization, as the CEO, for example, you're not necessarily the smartest person in that organization, but you get around yourself people who are smart, people who are good in what they do, and then you take all those ideas and then you lead. And guess who takes credit at the end of the day? You take the credit at the end of the day. Because you're the leader.
You're the leader.
Isn't it? You know. So that's what leadership is all about. So being able to also just harness all those gifts that God has given you through your wife and one of you, but being able to chart the way forward.
Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. In business, 9 startups who are part of the inaugural cohort of the Safaricom Spark Accelerator program have taken part in an investor demo day, a crucial milestone showcasing their achievements and potential while fostering connections with prospective investors. The Investor Demo Day, which is the final phase of the accelerator program for the 9 startups and is aimed at enabling them raise funding from leading venture capital funds. At the same time, Safaricom Sumito Corporation and M-Pesa Africa announced that calls for application for early-stage startups in technology, fintech, creative economy, and those scaling SME production tools to join the second cohort. This will offer an opportunity for more startups to benefit from capacity building and training, bespoke product development and technology support, access to market opportunities, and access to capital.
This week for us as Safaricom has been marked by a lot of engagement around the tech space, on the tech sector. Some of you have been involved in Decode, which is our forum for engaging with the developers and the youth throughout this week. And that was being held at the Sarit Center. That was really great to see the kind of ideas and the kind of engagement that the youth want to see in the tech space. Today now caps this week from an innovation perspective around what we'd like to do in the startup space in the ecosystem. Our ambition as Safaricom is to be Africa's leading purpose-led technology company. And today's Spark Day demo means that we're doing 2 things. One, it's part of our transition as we move from a telecom into a techco. And our strategy around that is how we build solutions and propositions for our customers, layering on our core platforms of M-Pesa, of our connectivity, and the devices we now offer in the market. Today we celebrate our first cohort. To give you a sense of this, we screened roughly 200 names to come with these names of the first cohort. They are HealthX Africa, VunaPay, Black Rhino VR, Quiver, Chapter, Chirpy, Notebook Africa, Faidi HR, and Chums. I also take this chance to announce that following today's close of the demo day, we will be opening up the invites for a call for applications for the second cohort of the Spark Accelerator. And we're hoping that runs until May 15th. So we look forward to the next generation of startups that can be supported, can be helped, and hopefully funded through this program.
The Deputy Chief of Staff for Performance and Delivery Management, Eliud Owalo, has praised the Maragua Ridge Irrigation Project as a transformative development for the farming community in Murang'a County. The 312 million shillings project, now 90% complete, is set to benefit 848 farmers across 400 acres in Kamahuha location, Maragua constituency. Owalo called the project a game changer, noting that with proper organization and government support, particularly in extension services and market linkages, it will drive economic growth at the grassroots level. The project is expected to significantly impact a traditionally drought-prone region, allowing farmers to grow a variety of crops, including fruits, vegetables, maize, and beans. Over 12,700 jobs have already been created, boosting food security and economic growth. Currently, 400 farmers are already benefiting from irrigation services.
This is a major game changer because, remember, in our Kenya Kwanza plan, we did say that one of the most viable means of sorting out the cost of living, bringing down the cost of living, is by bringing down the cost of food. So deliberately as a government, we are supporting farm activities at the grassroots. By way of irrigation, that is one. By two, by way of farm inputs, like fertilizer. So in this region, you have heard from them that this place is traditionally very dry. And now with this irrigation project, they are able to undertake various farm activities. This one here is a pawpaw farm. They have here 1,000 seedlings of pawpaw. Now pawpaw trees, 1,000. They are doing mangoes, they are doing fruit. We are just from the other farm where they are doing cabbages. So this is going to be a game changer, because if these people are well organized and they get the support they require from the government by way of extension services and also linkage to market, then we cannot go wrong. We are going to have money revolving at the grassroots and creating more employment for the youth. The white-collar jobs are not there. The jobs are there on the farm, in the Juaskali sector. So this is going to be a major game changer, that this type of projects are going to be replicated everywhere, all over the country. This is a project that is being financed by the national government through the National Irrigation Authority.
In sports, the fifth leg of the 2025 NCBA Golf Series is set to take place this weekend on Saturday, 22nd March at the iconic 9-hole par 72 Kenya Railway Golf Club. More than 200 golfers are expected to grace the event that will be played in a Stableford format, all vying for the coveted slots to play in the series grand finale later in the year. Men and women's winners in Division 1 and 2, the overall Division 3 winner and the junior category winner, will all book their spots for the grand finale. The 2025 series teed off in January at the Vetlab Sports Club before making stops at the Nandi Bears Club, Malindi Golf Club, and recently the Kiambu Golf Club last weekend. Welcome to today's conundrum, where we are looking at the government's constant change. Is it a case of government dancing chairs? Now, President William Ruto's recent cabinet reshuffle, marking yet another round of changes within his administration, has once again sparked a conversation on the frequency and necessity of such moves. Since assuming office, the Kenya Kwanza government has implemented numerous reshuffles. While reshuffling is not an unusual practice in government, the seemingly constant changes raise important questions. Is this a case of dancing chairs, or is it a strategic move to improve the country's governance? And perhaps most critically, when will the Kenya Kwanza government settle down and begin working for the benefit of all Kenyans? The law under the Constitution of Kenya grants the president the power to appoint and remove cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries at any time. This flexibility is meant to ensure that the government can adjust and realign its leadership to meet emerging priorities, challenges, or inefficiencies. However, this also raises the question on how often such reshuffles can be justified before they start affecting the stability of the government. The issue with frequent reshuffles, especially when they involve moving the same individuals around different positions, is that they can be perceived as ineffective, undermining the confidence of the public in the leadership. How many times can we appoint the same individuals to different positions before we start questioning the rationale behind the changes? For example, the current Interior Cabinet Secretary, Kipchumba Murkomen, started off in the Ministry of Transport. After the dissolving of cabinet last year, Murkomen was appointed to Sports and shortly after to the Interior Ministry. Why has one person occupied all these dockets? Are there no other qualified Kenyans to serve? For a country with a vast pool of talent, expertise, and professional skills, it is troubling that we are recycling people who have already held significant positions and have not made significant impact. The frequent reshuffling of cabinet positions is often seen as a response to internal government dynamics or as a strategy to appease various political factions. However, these constant movements can have detrimental effects on the performance and stability of government departments. It hampers the continuity of policy implementation and sends a message of indecisiveness to the public, suggesting that the government is still figuring things out. Some may argue that reshuffles are necessary to improve performance and to place people in positions where they can better serve the public. While this may be true, it is essential that these reshuffles are accompanied by clear communication on why the changes were made and how they will lead to tangible improvements in service delivery. Without this transparency, reshuffling starts to look like an exercise in political appeasement rather than effective governance. Furthermore, constant reshuffling can lead to a sense of instability within the public service. When leaders are moved too often, it disrupts the working environment and makes it difficult for government ministries and departments to build long-term strategies about the evaluation criteria used to make these decisions. Now, as we look ahead, the question remains, when will on the important work of governance? It is time for the government to ensure that its leadership is not just about reshuffling chairs, but about providing effective and stable leadership that moves the country forward. And that is today's conundrum. We've come to the end of Newswatch tonight. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for watching and staying with us. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Fiona Mweresa. Have a good night.